What is up, guys? Welcome to the ThinkComputers weekly tech podcast. This is episode 249, and our podcast is brought to you by Amazon. You go to thinkcomputers.org/Amazon and happen to purchase something. That gives us a little kickback and, of course, keeps the podcast ongoing. With me is my co-host, Ryan. What's going on?
Just adjusted my mic a little bit. I was trying to type and bumping into it. Can't have that going on. But other than that, it's all good here. How about you?
Derek Moore is in the house. What's going on? One of our regulars. Also, thanks everybody who is going to be in here. It is Thanksgiving Eve, which typically is.
I don't think I've ever called it that, but
it's
just like the day before Thanksgiving.
It's typically one of the biggest drinking days of the year.
Is
for
it?
A lot of people? Yeah, because you're off the next day. And you go out, but now a lot of places you can't do that. But we want to thank everybody for coming in and hanging out, and we're going to be talking tech. If you are new to the podcast, this is about an hour long. Typically, we're about an hour long podcast going over some of our reviews and everything, all the news for the week. So if you want to follow along, we have our full show notes page, which should be linked in wherever you're watching this. If you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, you can go ahead and check out our show notes page. It has everything that we'll be talking about today. So yeah, let's jump in and we'll talk about a product that it's very hard to find. We couldn't even get it. I tried to buy it the day that it came out. Yeah, so I had to borrow one from our friends. So thank you, Damon over at PCTestbench.com. He was nice enough to send me this, which
a video card.
Yeah, a video card, which is the GeForce RTX 3070, which I think out of all three that were officially announced, this is probably the best one for your money, just because it's in that, I would say it's in that price point. It's $499, which makes it affordable for so many people. And the big thing about it is that it's going to give you performance basically of a 2080 Ti, which, if you remember, was $1,200.
Yeah, it was not that cheap.
And the reason I really wanted to check out a Founders Edition is, one, because I've never really had time to play with a Founders Edition. You see them, but you really don't pay attention. They're in systems. You don't get to hold them. You don't get to pick them up. And this, it's like a premium product. And that's something that when you think of Founders, like, when you think of a reference card, you think of a boring, crappy reference card.
Yep.
You don't think, like, this feels like, it's kind of funny. Like, it feels like an iPhone. Like, it feels like that premium feel.
I mean, it has nice fit and finish, right? Like,
it is really nice. It feels good. It feels heavy. Like, everything is done so nice. A lot of aftermarket cards, like, their back plates are just like weird and not like, here you can barely tell like the difference, like where the back plate starts and ends. Everything goes together really well. I was actually honestly impressed. I never think about Founders Edition cards because
we get all the add-in partner cards.
And typically add-in board partner cards, they have better cooling solutions and they're overclocks. So that's the reason why you want to get them. But this thing, it's just it's so small too. It's a very small card. It's compact. It just it changed my mind on Founders Editions. Let's just put it that way. So that's kind of like the big thing.
Not that they were like necessarily bad or anything before this, right? But like this one really like sealed the deal.
Yeah, probably. It really, like I said, getting time to actually use it and play with it, and just see in person the fit and finish and how it is. And I mean, it is like, it's just a nice looking card. I mean,
yeah.
So yeah, I was like, again, I was very impressed with the card. Unlike the 3090 and 3080, both fans are on the same side of the card. Yep. But you do have like this opening. You can see the big opening back there, so it allows the push through of air to the other side. But the overall like look and the design of this, the 30 series, I think that when we first saw it, I was like, "What is this? This looks dumb." But like seeing it installed in our test bench, and I actually like it. It feels, like I said, you have these like curves. You can see like the edges are curved, and it just, again, I actually really, really like it. It's completely changed my mind.
If you turn it the one way, it's like that 90s S that we all drew.
Yeah, right. It is. Yeah, it's the S that you can see there. It's kind of funny. But it just like fit and finish, it is such a good card. As I said, performance-wise, I'm not going to go into like crazy detail because you could check that out in the review, and I don't want to show you graphs that you can't see that great on the screen. But it's basically the same performance as a 2080 Ti. And if you think about that, we don't typically see that. That was the flagship card of last generation. Typically, you would bump up. So a 3070 would be like the stock 2080, right? Not the 2080 Ti. So we went up basically 2 cards. Not only that, we didn't keep the same price, or it didn't remain the same price as what a 3070 was. You actually went down in price. So it's just like there's not really anything that bad you can say about this card. It's just a good card. I mean, the only thing that I don't like about it, which I'll demonstrate for you guys, is this. So you have that new 12-pin power connector right there.
Yep.
It's kind of hard to see, but I actually like the 12-pin. The 12-pin allows you to do 300 watts to the card. This little connector that comes with every card will give you 150. So it only has a single 8-pin, but the ones that come with the 3080 and the 3090 have 2 8-pins. But it allows you to, in a smaller space, it allows you to do basically the same amount of power as 2 8-pins, which is nice. But when we plug this in here, this is what you get.
Yeah.
This is not and if you think,
I mean, how flexible is that? Because I mean, really, it's in the middle instead of the end, right? Which we have right now. Like I look over at my card and it's the same thing.
It's just like it's coming straight out. You have to bend it under. I'm not a fan of this.
Yeah, I just wish they'd be on the other end, anyways. Yeah,
if you put it there or put it like even at the end, I think it would just in the middle there. And the reason it is in the middle is because the PCB is only goes to right here, and this is just all heatsink. So that's the only issue I have with this card.
It just made me think of something. We need to put, if you hold that card back up, and like,
oh yeah, hold on.
I don't have a video card here, or otherwise I'd do it. So on the edge where the PCI slot is, no.
The PCI this edge.
Slot.
This edge.
Yeah. So what if we moved like the adapter, the power connection to the bottom there?
Here?
A little further down the card.
Oh, like right here.
Yeah, like you put it there on the board, and then you have like a 90-degree adapter that plugs in, so it like shoots it back. So now that power is like up by your board, and you wouldn't even see it.
Yeah, there are a lot of companies. I know EVGA makes an adapter.
Yeah, right.
They make their adapter. I mean, it's just, again, I like the 12-pin. It solves a lot of problems.
Sure.
And it makes a single cable technically. But it's just the placement. That's literally the only bad thing I can say about this card. Beyond that, the only other thing is that you can't find it. You can't find it anywhere, which is crazy. I even looked, like I said, the day that it came out, I woke up and I went to Best Buy's website and I tried to order it. and I got it in my cart, and then there was an error,
course.
overload, and I couldn't get it. You can't buy them anywhere. You can't buy aftermarkets anywhere, and that's the problem with PC industry right now, especially now, because like tomorrow or Friday is Black Friday.
Yeah.
Everybody is, and especially because a lot of people again still aren't working, or they're going to be off till they're not sure when or whatever. They might be working from home. They want to build a computer. People are getting money for a holiday, whatever. With you have the new 5000 series from AMD. You have the 6800 XTs from AMD. You have all the new NVIDIA cards, but you can't find this stuff anywhere. And it just makes it so frustrating for anybody who wants to build a computer, because why would, and for $500, why would you buy like a 2080 Ti when you have the same amount of performance in a card and it uses less power and all of those other things as well?
Yeah, you have it sucks. It's like a good place to be, because when they are available, they're great performance and great prices.
Yeah.
Except you can't get them. So like it's a tough spot to be, and I really hope that like companies aren't holding back to like, oh, guess what? We do have stock now for Black Friday. I mean, that'd be all right if they had stock and could do that. I don't know. I hope that's not like too much market manipulation and like holding out for items. I don't think we're at that place though.
No. Real quick, our friend Jim is in the chat. Jim from Home Gadget Geeks. We will
December 17th.
December 17th, we will be on their show. So we'll definitely let you guys
on a Thursday. So
yeah, definitely let you guys know about that. But yeah, it's like so many people want to build PCs. Cyberpunk's coming out next month. And again, you have that like 2-week period where a lot of people, if you are working now, you're probably going to be off and you want to maybe build a new PC for a new game. And a lot of people have waited to build a new PC who might have been on like the 10 series generation of graphics cards. Like, okay, like my one buddy, he hadn't built a computer in a few years. He wants to build a new one. And I'm just like, it's so bad right now. You can't find anything. It's really upsetting.
I mean, you can find other components though. That's the thing. It's like you can get almost all of your system built except for a CPU and a GPU. Now, is Intel having issues with
no,
CPU?
You can get Intel
and 5000 series,
but it's just 5000 series. AMD chips are kind of hard to come by. I was talking about Damon, who lent me this card. He ordered a 5950X. He's not getting delivery till January for it. Wow. So yeah, and I think that was through B&H maybe he ordered it from. So yeah, it's just a tough time to get like a full PC built per se.
Yeah. With the components you want.
Yeah, with the
you could go with an older CPU or an older GPU, but you don't want to pay that price right now when you know that something that's priced the same and is just as good, if not better, depending on what you get, is
and it's not
somewhat
even
available.
And it's not even like you're waiting for like that new product to come out. Like they're out, you just can't find them, and that's the difficult thing.
Yep.
So. Enough complaining about availability. We'll move on to our next review.
What'd you give it though?
I gave it a 9 out of 10.
Okay.
Again, the biggest issue. Yeah, the biggest issue is availability. The second thing is the power connector, which I'm not the biggest fan of. But yeah, it's such a good card. Like you can't. I think I gave it a recommended award. I can look real quick.
I feel like that 70 series again is always the one that I'm going to for recommendations, just via price and performance for most people.
Yeah, I did give it a recommended award as well, just because like if somebody's asking me what's a good GPU to buy, I did explain like the breakdown. So this is the 1440p card. It's going to be more than like well over 60 FPS in all titles at 1440p at max settings. A lot of those games will be in the higher frame rate as well. This is also a good card if you're a serious gamer and you're on 1080p and you want to push, 144 frames a second for those high refresh rate monitors. This is the card that can do that as well. It can do 4K, just like a lot of cards can do 4K. Some titles you won't have to touch any, like you can have max settings and it will do 4K at over 60 FPS. some titles you'll need to turn things just a little bit down to get over 60 FPS. But just like, again, the breakdown is this is the 1440p card. The 3080 is the 4K card. 3090 is a Titan, so it's a Titan. So yeah, it's the 8K card for the 10 people that are gaming in 8K. So, but moving on to our next review, we took a look at a 2.5-inch SSD from Samsung, who's one of the biggest players for storage products. And this is their 870 QVO. This is their QLC based SSD. And it's supposed to be, I would say, it's supposed to be like an entry-level drive. The biggest thing with entry-level drives is they're cheap, not like super cheap, but they're cheap, and they provide, for most people, they'll get the job done, right? You don't need...
Yeah, you're going to get a bump in performance, but you're not going to like win any benchmarks.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's still like it does. The thing about this drive is it does what a 2.5-inch SSD wants, like it's supposed to do. In our testing, it performed as it should. You know, I think it's 550 megabytes a second read and 520 megabytes a second write, which is like typical for SSDs. The big thing with this drive is because it's QLC based, you have high capacity. So this is a drive that you might want to consider if you were really thinking about replacing those high capacity normal hard drives. So you can actually get this drive in up to 8 terabytes, which there's only a few other drives that you can get up to 8 terabytes. This is one of them. Now they sent us the 1 terabyte, and again, it performed as it should. I don't need to go into specifics, but it did everything. The biggest drawback to QLC is you're going to, with high writes, you're going to see something like this.
Yeah.
Where you're writing and then your performance drops. This specific drive, it dropped considerably. We were down to around 77 megabytes a second write once the cache was depleted. The cache on this is 1 gigabyte. So that was about 5% drive. And again, most people won't see this unless you're doing high writes, because most of our data is we're reading from the drive. We're not writing to the drive. I always say this: this is an extreme test, just to see what we're basically. I do this test to see how far along until we get the drive.
Right. If you're moving huge like single files from one spot over to this drive, you'll notice it. But
yeah,
for like day-to-day use, you'll be just fine.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, like this drive does everything it should. It's a Samsung drive. Being an entry-level drive, it's only backed by a 3-year warranty. So I'm like, okay, this drive should be like $80, right? It's $109.99 on Amazon.
I mean, there's usually like a price premium for Samsung drives, but that seems a bit much for compared to other drives.
So I was like looking at this and I was like, okay, this is a SATA-based drive. Samsung has their own SSD 860 EVO, which came out a couple years ago. It's not QLC, it's I believe MLC or TLC. It's $99, and that has a 5-year warranty. Yeah, it's TLC and 5-year warranty.
TLC.
Then you have Samsung's also their 970 EVO NVMe drive. So that's 3,500 megabytes a second read and write. Yeah. And that's only that's $20 more. It's $129.99. And it also has a 5-year warranty. And then you have products like Sabrent's Rocket Q NVMe SSD, which is only $10 more at $119 with a 5-year warranty as well. So it's like this drive would be great in the higher capacity offerings that it has, but at least in the 1 terabyte version, the version that we reviewed, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. There's so many drives. There's so many SATA-based drives that have better NAND and better warranty at that price, or better than that price. And then you, again, like $20 more, you have Samsung's own NVMe SSD, which is going to give you I can't do math, but what is that, like 7 or 8 times the performance? It just doesn't make sense. Now, I believe like the 8 terabyte is like $900.
It's gotta be up there, yeah. Yeah, 8 terabyte. What, 892?
Yeah, and the Sabrent Rocket Q, which is one of the few NVMe SSDs available in 8 terabyte, is like 1300. So it has its advantage there, right?
Sure.
But at the 1 terabyte capacity, this drive just does not make sense. That's why I gave it a 7 out of 10, because it's just not priced to compete. If this was 79, it needs to be $79.99. Like, in my opinion, that would.
It's living in the wrong price category.
Yeah.
So,
and we've seen that, because with these, now that we have SATA, then we have Gen 3 NVMe, and we have Gen 4. There's a lot of drives that are just not priced correctly, put it that way, especially with like the price of Gen 4 going down dramatically. A lot of Gen 4 drives are the exact same price as Gen 3 drives in the NVMe. And
hopefully we'll see these drop, in price even further, but I'm almost thinking that they may stay the same, and these faster NVMe drives are just going to lower themselves to that. I don't know, price floor.
Yeah. So check out the review. Like I said, it's not the drive's fault. It's Samsung's fault for pricing it not correctly. Put it that way. So that moves us to Case Mod Friday, and we have a build from a company that makes cases. They make some of the most interesting cases I would say I've seen in the past few years. We don't really get to review these cases or see these cases because this company is a Chinese company, but they've made a pretty good name for themselves in the past couple of years in the water cooling realm. A lot of their cases are based around water cooling. They're called Barrow, and this is their Star 1 chassis. This is a limited edition run that they're doing, but it's more like a display case, as you can see. This circular thing is the actual case. So the case has built-in water cooling. It's kind of like, if you think about it, it's almost like a thermal take like Core P5, but it's a circle, not a square. And you have all of the channeling and reservoir built into this piece, which I think is really, really cool. And yeah, their build is just, like I said, this is a showpiece type build. I don't know if the pump comes.
I like that base too. The aluminum, like CNC milled base, pretty sweet.
Yeah, I don't even know how much this case is. I can't imagine it's cheap. But it's really.
Is it a case that they make though? That's available? It's not just a showpiece.
Okay. It's a special, like I said, limited edition. It's called the Barrow Star 1. I don't know if you want to see if you can look up the price.
I'm pulling up here.
But yeah, it's just like a cool build. You can see the back that supports 360 mil rads on the back, so you can kind of hide all of your fans and stuff at the back, and then at the front, of course, it looks pretty awesome. And they've done some hard tubing, and pretty much all the water cooling is Barrow, obviously, because they're a water cooling company. So all the, this is one version that has the card normal, and then the other one has the card in a vertical, which is pretty cool. And I actually do like their graphics card, their blocks and stuff. So like I said, it's a pretty cool build overall. Like, there's not really
LCDs that are built into some of those as well, showing the temperatures, like on that the video card, and then down on the it's pretty cool.
But yeah, it's just like, it's not really much of a mod per se. It's more of just like a build that's done in this case with some like custom tubing and all of that. But I think it's a really cool showpiece. That's why we kind of wanted to show it to you guys, because I think it's pretty cool. I don't know what, there's that base that you were talking about. Did you find a price or no?
I did not. But Derek is saying he sees a lot for sale on AliExpress. So
yeah, that's probably
about the best spot to find these products.
Unless you can find it somewhere else, like for those looking for Barrow products, because they are like, here's what the case looks like, without anything installed in it. Yeah, $300. That's actually not bad. I mean, well, I guess this case doesn't have a whole lot to it, right? I think probably the most expensive parts would be the base, right?
There's only like 2 parts.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I guess that's not horrible, really.
No. Because you think about like how much a distro block or a distro plate for like a regular case, like a 0111 or the 011 dynamic, you're like a third of that cost almost. So
Yeah, the biggest problem would be shipping it to the United States.
I've never been on AliExpress, I don't think, and I don't think I'm gonna go back. This is already a horrible experience.
Yeah, it is. Like I said, AliExpress is one of the few places you can find like the Chinese brand products that a lot of them are really cool, but we never hear about them because we're in the United States, and to buy it and then ship it over is just a waste of money. But we could.
$293 plus 121 shipping.
Yeah. So yeah, $450. Right? If I did the math sort of.
No, like just under like $450.
Yeah. So check out the build. It's in our Case Mod Friday section. I think it's really cool. I think it's unique, and there are only a few companies that do stuff like this, because this is not a case that's going to sell a bunch. So it's probably more of a we're only going to make a few, and they're probably losing money on it, right?
Yeah.
And they have a lot of cases that are like this that don't, for like a mass audience, there's nobody's gonna buy it unless they're like crazy modders. So it is cool to see a company do that. Barrow is one of the few that actually do it. So go ahead and check that out. And if you guys haven't heard, we are doing a giveaway. So we teamed up with Patriot to give away a Viper VPN 100 512 gigabyte NVMe SSD and a kit of their Viper Steel 4400 megahertz memory, is 16 gigabyte kit. So there's there'll be two winners. So one person gets the SSD, the other person gets the memory. Two awesome products. We didn't review the VPN 100. We reviewed the VPR 100, which is the RGB version, but they're basically the same product.
Same hardware.
Yeah, same hardware. And we did review the exact memory kit. So check that out. We do it through Gleam. The link to the contest is in the show notes if you guys want to check that out. Yeah, it's 15 days left. I believe this ends on December 10th, right before Christmas. So if we, you get your information to us. If you're a winner, you should have the products right in time for Christmas, which would be pretty cool. So yeah, go ahead and check that out. And that moves us to news, and we have some interesting stories about things that are coming up. It's all but been confirmed that Intel will launch Rocket Lake CPUs in March 2021 with backwards compatibility with Z490. We kind of saw this, and we kind of like, it was never confirmed, but it's all but, I mean, we knew because we did see like those NVMe drives that say or NVMe slots that said they did support next gen hardware, but it was never confirmed. But yeah, so basically if you have a Z490, you can slot in a Rocket Lake CPU and it's going to work off the bat. If you have what is this one called? If you have a 10 series, there really wouldn't be much of a reason to upgrade, at least from what I've seen, just for the fact that this is still 14 nanometer.
Yeah.
And
I don't think we're going to get a huge performance bump by any means.
Yeah, you're not going to get a massive performance bump. So it is nice to see that we have a date. That just means that, or pretty much have a date. That hopefully means that we could see the next gen, which would hopefully be not on 14 nanometer, that would be like, this is coming out in March, maybe towards the end of the year.
Late 2021, maybe?
Yeah, late
early
2022. Yeah, so that's what makes me most excited about this story, just for the fact that we've been waiting for something that's not 14 nanometer from Intel for how long do you think now?
It feels like years. I mean, I don't know. A while.
It feels like a very long time. So that's something to look forward to if you're an Intel person and you jump on the 10 series. Now you can jump on which those will be the 11th or the 11 series or 11th gen core processors in March. And by that time, you might be able to get some graphics cards, hopefully.
Yeah.
As well. Talking about graphics cards in mobile graphics cards that, of course, would be in your laptop. The GeForce RTX 3000 series mobility series lineup roadmap was kind of leaked. And we can see that in the first half of 2021, we will get an RTX 3080, RTX 3070, RTX 3060, all in laptops. And they're not going to replace the GTX 1660 Ti, at least according to this roadmap, or the GTX 1650 Ti or the GTX 1650. It will be really interesting to see if these are like full-fledged cards, right?
Right, desktop processor or GPUs.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this. I think that the power that we do have in the 30 series now, even in the 20 series, the power that you have with that in a laptop, something you can take with you, is awesome to me. We can also see the price points here too. So there's actually another picture that goes more into the price points that you would expect to see for starting prices for laptops based on these cards. So like a 3080 be like $2,000 starting price. 3070 would be $1,299, which seems pretty good.
Well, and you also look at the display, right? It's 1080 but 120 hertz, right? We're starting to see more of those high refresh rate screens on monitor or on laptops. I mean, we've had 60 hertz forever, and there's been some, but I think that's going to start also kicking into these laptops pretty commonly, is higher refresh rate, but maybe just still 1080 screens. But I like to see that for that price point. I mean, $1,200, $1,300 for that those generic specs there is pretty enticing, honestly.
Yeah, it is. And it's like, I've been like thinking about a new laptop, and I'm like,
yeah, I know.
Wait a little bit. Even though like I really don't need a gaming laptop, because if I'm game, I want to be like here in front of this big screen.
And when you travel, you don't want to be.
You're not.
We always say this. We're like, you're not sitting in your hotel room gaming, right?
Yeah.
The only time that happens, at least for me, is like if I have to travel for work and I have to stay overnight, then I will bring my laptop and I'll try and game, because I don't know. Most of the time,
there's nothing else to do, especially if you're there.
Especially right now.
Yeah. Oh, especially right now too. But yeah, I mean, this is, like I said, if these are fully fledged cards, like you could see some really awesome laptops from the big players like the Razer, Alienwares, like all of that. It's interesting that we don't have the 3090.
You think?
Here. Or wait, yeah, we don't. It's not in this roadmap. The only reason I say that is for like, you do see
some workstation laptops.
Yeah, workstation based laptops. You do see that. So, and again, I know
power
that
supply monsters.
Yeah, there's power requirements, but in any case, it would be nice to see this. I know a lot of people wanted this before, like around holiday time, because again, this is time to buy. This is when a lot of people are buying for somebody for a present for a holiday. So you won't see it then, but like January and throughout February, March, you'll see a lot of these come out. Be interesting to see it.
Derek makes a good point. He says the 3090 would have more memory than the laptop.
Yeah, that is very true.
That's pretty funny.
And like you think like the power requirements and the cooling and all of that,
everything.
But there are, like I said, there are laptop companies that just take like one of these and then break it down and put it in
and throw it in.
Yeah, we've seen that before. When they don't have like a mobile version available, they actually do that. So like I said, it'd be interesting to see. But that is exciting if you're somebody who buys a gaming laptop. That's a lot of power getting put. Like again,
definitely
remember, like the 3070 is as powerful as last gen's 2080 Ti, which again wasn't offered in a mobile version last generation. So that's pretty awesome. So I'm excited for that for sure. Talking about upcoming graphics cards. Pictures, cool. Pictures of an upcoming RTX 3060 Ti Aorus Master were leaked, and the big thing about this card is that it has 6 display outputs.
That's nuts.
If you wanted to power 6 displays, you have 3 DisplayPort and 3 HDMI on this card. This will probably be like the highest end Aorus card for the 3060 Ti. And yeah, I don't know who's right.
I like that versatility.
How many displays do you have right now?
How many displays? Well, okay, so I have the 3 displays, but I also have, and the nice thing is, I have my VR headset, right? So I technically have 4 displays hooked up to it, and I can, I don't have to switch adapters or ports or cables or anything. Everything's plugged in, and if I want to fire up VR, like I don't have to switch anything out. So that's nice, and that's where I see this being handy because, previously what we used to get like 2. You'd get like a VGA and a DVI, or maybe 2 DVI, and
like
then we
way
started
back
getting.
In the day,
But and now we could get like a HDMI and a couple display port. No, I think it's nice to see these options.
Yeah, it's
kind of funny on a 60 card, on a 3060, but
it's like I said, it's interesting. That's kind of like the big thing about it. This card is expected to again be the highest end card from Aorus, and it will probably have the highest overclock out of their 3060 cards.
Looks like plenty of cooling.
Yeah, triple fan cooling solution. And if you haven't noticed, one thing that Aorus does to keep their cards not super long is their fans overlap, as you can see in there. So pretty cool. Maybe we'll try to get one to review, tell you guys more about it. But that is coming. And then on the super high end, talking about having more memory than your actual desktop, EVGA launched their RTX 3090 Kingpin Hybrid, which will be $2,000.
That's a $500 premium.
Yeah. You are getting well, a couple of things. One, you're getting the hybrid card. So it's water cooled and then actively air cooled on this side, I believe.
So what is this, a picture 360 radiator?
Yeah, you get a 360 rad. I believe, at least based on this picture, that this is all copper. You see that under there?
Underneath, yep.
So that's a premium. Then you get this EVGA pop-out LCD display, if that will show you like temperatures and voltages and probably speeds.
I'm sure this thing's overclocked quite a bit, right?
This thing is it's custom PCB, 12-layer PCB, 23-phase power design. Like it has 3 BIOS options, which are normal, OC, and LN2, which the LN2 I'm sure is crazy overclocked. One thing.
Oh, so that display is like hinged. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's a hinge display.
Nice.
One thing that I just never liked about this about the Kingpins the past few generations is honestly, that just doesn't appeal to me, like the look of it.
Well, and he works with Galax as well on some cards, right? Doesn't he?
Possibly. I don't remember. But that is just like it just I mean for like a this is the top end EVGA 3090. Like this is the one that's the highest overclocked, has all the extras. Like it just doesn't, that look just doesn't appeal to me, especially if I have this like in a vertical GPU setup. I don't know about you guys in the chat, but it just, I don't know. But in any case, I do like this Kingpin edition. I do like, I think EVGA, well, I guess a lot of them do have the AIO cards, but the big ones is like Asus has theirs and Aorus has one as well. But yeah, this is crazy overclocked, crazy power design. 23 phase power design is insane for this card. So the pop out LCD screen is something new that we haven't seen either. Yeah, I don't know. Cool. If you had the money, would you buy one?
Nope.
Didn't think so. I'd buy a 3080 and a really nice monitor.
Yes, that makes more sense.
Yeah, that would be my my investment of the $2,000 per se, and probably like you'd probably still have some money left over.
Yeah.
So
depends on the monitor, I guess.
Yeah. So talking about crazy overclocks, we had 2 very insane overclocks this week. The first one is pretty interesting because It's on the new Radeon RX 6800 XT. It set the 3D Mark Firestrike world record, but it did it on air. Now, as you can see in this picture, the CPU
is on liquid.
Is on LN2, but the actual graphics card is just running normal, which is pretty impressive. Mm-hmm. It outperformed LN2 cold RTX 3090s in the test. Yeah, that's pretty insane.
Wow. Yeah.
Especially considering, like, if you think about it, like, typically AMD cards run hot, and yeah.
I mean, we can't see what's outside this. Like, do they have anything else blowing on it to help out with the air around it? But I mean, I don't know. Maybe that figure is like helping cool it down.
I don't know. But it's pretty cool. You guys can check it out. We have the links to the HW bot verification and all that stuff. But that's an insane overclock for a graphics card. So
this next one though was more like impressive to me.
The next one's more impressive, and you can see this next one is it's definitely LN2 cooled. It looks like something that was left out in the winter, like just from the pictures. So I'll bring it up so you guys can see it, the picture.
This thing got left out like overnight in Antarctica or something.
Yeah. So this is Crucial Ballistics max memory has been overclocked to 7,004 megahertz or 7 gigahertz, which is an insane overclock. This is done by Chinese overclocker Baby J. It's a new world record. It was done again with a Crucial Ballistics max memory, which has a XMP profile or normal speed of 4,000 megahertz. Wow. So he overclocked by 3,000 megahertz or 3 gigahertz, which is typically like when you do memory overclocking, if you're just doing it without like any LN2 or anything, you get like 200 to 400 megahertz. So
right.
Getting 3,000 megahertz is insane. And what's even more crazy about this one is that they did it on a B550, or was it B450? B550 motherboard running a Ryzen 5 Pro 4650G processor, which apparently has a really good memory controller, considering that they were able to do this on it. Yeah, that's awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, and the picture just makes it. I mean, this picture just makes it even better, I think. That's really, really cool. So
I'm surprised. Like a lot of times, you see a lot more protection on some of those components. Yes. Especially when they use LN2 to just like keep things from shorting out. But
I don't see any like the.
I don't see any like the putty. Right, the putty. Yeah. Sometimes you'll see some tape stuff. Huh.
Yeah,
very cool though.
Yeah. Very, very cool. So
I'm not doing it anytime soon, but
that's your next goal, Ryan. Get that LN2, get you a big thing of LN2, and
just pour it in.
Yeah. So those are the two big overclocks of the week. We also have a really cool case that came out. I'm actually a huge fan of this. So Lee put out a new version of their O11 Dynamic. This is the O11D Mini, and it's not like necessarily mini. It's smaller.
It's smaller
than the O11D, but as you can see in this picture,
I like this.
It will support up to extended ATX motherboards still, but it's not as tall, and I don't believe it's as long or as wide as the other one either. So it gives you that more compact look. But it's what's really cool. It's kind of hard to see. Let me see this picture. You could probably see it, but like this bracket allows for extended ATX. So if you're not using it, you take this like little bracket out, and then it moves things in. It's really cool. I think probably the O11D is one of the best cases out there. It's much like this case that I have here, which is Corsair 680X, and the fact that it's made to show off your components. Like if you look at this, you get like the power supply's on the opposite side, just like my case. It's made to show off your main components of your system. Yeah. This is even more compact than my case, and I like it. And what they did, because you have this glass fronts, they have the cooling on the side, right, like inside the case. over here, which does help with cooling a little bit. But again, it's still not the best. But it's again, I really like this smaller version. This might be my next case to do a build in when I upgrade my system eventually, just because I like small, but I like being able to fit like my normal size components in it and have, like, you can see you can fit, like, it looks like 360 mil rads up top, or at least 3 120s it looks like, and then you can fit 240 as you can see here. You have the one on the back, so I think you could fully outfit this, which is pretty cool. Pricing on this, it does not $100.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, $99.99. Pre-orders start November 20th, which was 5 days ago. So
it's available. Yeah. Or pre-order.
There's also a version that will come with a fully modular 700 watt 80 plus gold SFX power supply. So that's how they made it smaller too, is you can see it will only fit a SFX power supply, which used to be a big deal because you could only find SFX power supplies in, like, the most was like 600, 650, but now you can get them all the way up to like 1,000 watts. So you're good on that front as well. So
this is just such a good case. I remember when we saw it at the O11 in general, like at CES 2018.
Yeah,
they showed us this, and we were like, everything about it was like awesome, and yeah, it has just proven to be an awesome case. And I'm glad they keep making new versions of it. The XL, now you got the Mini here.
Derek said that he had the regular O11D with two 360 rads. My next one will be the O11D XL. Yeah, so Lee and Lee initially went up. So they had the O11 Dynamic, and then they came out, I think, like this past year with the O11 XL, O11D XL. Now they have the O11D Mini. And what's great about the Mini, it's like, it's not a micro ATX or mini ITX. It still fits everything up to extended ATX. It's just smaller.
Yep, crammed in.
Yeah, crammed in. So I actually really like that. So yeah, really cool stuff there. Typically we don't talk about consoles, but a lot of people have bought
peasants.
Peasants. A lot of people have, if they're again, they have the same problem that we do, is that they're very hard to find.
Yeah.
Both on the Xbox and PS5 fronts. But if you did buy a PS5, and there are, I would say, in my opinion, even though I might get some flack for saying this, there are a lot of games that are better with a controller. Not all games, but there are some games that I feel are better with a controller. You now have Steam now supports the PS5 DualSense controller. There's a whole guide on Reddit that you can, I'm pretty sure it's on Reddit, that will show you how to get it working and do that.
So supports and like having to follow a bunch of steps are two different things, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Did you look at what it took to do it?
Yeah.
Is it like quite a bit of work, or is it like pretty simple? Because
it's been added to the Steam input API.
I see these stories sometimes, and you're like, oh cool, it supports it, but you have to like get this driver pack and extable from.
No, I think it's just I'm pretty sure it's just like the whole connection with the computer is the thing.
Okay.
Because I believe these are
Bluetooth usually, I think.
Yeah, so I think that is what the guide is, and then Steam should just like detect it as a device.
Okay.
That's cool. So like the biggest thing I remember, when like Xbox, the Xbox controllers first became compatible with PC. We used to like have to, again, like you said, like run all these scripts and hacks to get them to work, and then they finally gave it like official support. Again, which is great for certain games. It is great. So I'm that's, like I said, it's good that they did that. A lot of people like using controllers for different types of games. And our last story is that Cyberpunk 2077 has not been delayed. So that's the story. It will be coming out December 10th. They launched an official gameplay trailer. if you haven't watched this trailer, this isn't like a short, like 30-second trailer. I'm gonna play it here while I talk.
It's like 5 minutes. Wow.
Yeah, it's very long. It goes over like the whole idea or the whole premise of the game, the story, and some of like where you're, like the city that you're playing in, what it's about, kind of gets you like into the game, gives you the storyline. So if you were like, maybe, I mean, we've all seen the screenshots and some of the gameplay of Cyberpunk, but like, what is this game really about? You don't know anything about it. This gives you that, and I think it's really cool. And it just shows you the different things and how you can upgrade your character, different weapons, how, like, again, customization, as you can see. There's a lot of things in this trailer. It is in the article, you guys can check it out, but I'm still like, should I get the game? Should I not get the game? I know I probably won't play it right away, unless I actually like set aside time to do it. But the game does look awesome. Probably it is the most anticipated game in the year, I would say.
Yeah, sure. I agree. And I've seen like some parts of like this trailer, and I have seen most of this actually. Some of it looks really appealing, and I'm like, oh, that would be fun. And then other parts, like I have no interest in, and I don't want to have to like learn a whole nother like world and story set. Obviously, they're going to give you a bunch of that information in the game to make it entertaining, but yeah, I don't know if I'll pick it up or not.
Yeah, it's just like, the thing is like, okay, so once a week we play Apex, which we'll be doing after it. Yeah, and like that's the only time I play games, because I'm working on content for the site, or family stuff or whatever. So it's but yeah, like I said, I would like I said, check out this trailer. It's cool, and there is, like I said, it's worth checking out. And again, if you're going to be off work or at home, it's definitely one thing I am excited for Cyberpunk, because it is a it's not is there an online component to it?
I don't know.
I didn't even
think how little I know about the game.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like, it's a game you can play by yourself, and you don't, and again, like a lot of people don't like playing online. Maybe you're not good enough, or you just like, a lot of things
don't have to deal with people. Yeah.
Don't have to deal with people. You can play through it. You can pause it. You feel like you're in the game rather than playing the game. That's what I like to, I always say, like Assassin's Creed games, at least I haven't played any of the, but like Assassin's Creed 2 was like one of the games that like I loved, because the story was so good, and I felt like,
I think that's why I liked the Division 1 so much. Was like, yeah, I could play and like follow the story by myself, and if a buddy hopped on, you'd be like, all right, meet me down the street here. All right, now we can like go do this battle, right? And if they had to leave, they could leave, and I could keep going. It's kind of that mix is what I really liked.
Yeah. So yeah. So like I said, if you're gonna pick it up, let us know. I might pick it up. We'll see if I do decide to get it and I have time. That's what, December 10th. Maybe we'll do a stream on Twitch playing, but we'll see. We'll definitely let you guys know about that.
I can't believe you didn't even, like, you said that's the most anticipated game, but you do know that the Shadowlands expansion came out Monday for WoW, right? So I'm just saying.
No, don't even know what that is.
Already got to level 56. Not that that's like super impressive, but it's impressive for me because, yeah.
Anyhow, so anyways, for all of you who don't care about WoW and want to know what's coming up next week, I will be reviewing the flagship AMD processor. This is their 16-core Ryzen 9 5950X. I didn't review the 3950X, so I can't directly compare the two. But I think my whole premise of my review will be how much better is this than the 5900X, and if it's worth the extra money. But 16 cores on a mainstream processor, that's awesome.
Pretty cool.
I'm excited to get testing into that, which I'll be doing over the weekend, over the holiday. And also taking a look at two SSDs. We're doing them in one review because they're kind of the same. So ADATA has their Swordfish and their Falcon. They're two Gen 3 NVMe Ssds. Taking a look at both of them. One thing I really like is that even though like this is like a little piece of aluminum or whatever,
I like it.
it looks cool. Like just like the little, that's all you have to do. You don't have to make some crazy heat sink, but like that little bit, especially for people who have like, like a lot of B550 boards don't have
the cooler built in.
Yeah, don't have the cooler built in. It's nice to have. And the Falcon is a little bit different, but I'll be taking a look at both of those. So definitely stay tuned for that as well. And Derek said for the 5950X,
it is worth the extra money.
It is worth the extra money. Do you have one, Derek? Because like I said, that's gonna be my main thing, is if it's worth the extra money. Really, like I said, yeah, because again, for a lot of people, like when we reviewed the 3900X, I was like, like for creators, for gamers, like I didn't think you needed more, but again, you always need more. You always want more.
The 3950X.
So he has the 3950X. So yeah, I mean, obviously having more is, if you're encoding something instead of encoding or whatever you're doing, instead of having 12 cores, you have 16. So it's obviously better, but is it worth the extra money? That's kind of what I'll see. So Derek says it is. We will see on that as well. And that brings us to the end here. We talk about if we did anything or we're excited. I'm excited for Black Friday. I might be making some purchases.
Oh, spend that money.
Spend the money.
I haven't even looked. Like there was a TV at Walmart that I thought about.
Yeah, you were talking about that.
It was so cheap, right? And I didn't, and I kind of just like forgot, and I don't need it, so I'm just like letting it go. Yeah, I'm not really on the hunt for anything on Black Friday, and I had to go into Target the other night, whenever it was, and I was walking through just some areas, and they were like, "Oh, Black Friday prices now," right? And they had these big displays of like Google devices and Amazon devices at pretty good prices, and I almost grabbed like a new like Echo Dot or something. Not that I need one. I mean, I have a that's Gen 2 Dot in front of me. I was like, well, I could get a Gen 3, but do I need it? No. But they're so cheap. They were so cheap.
Yeah, that's what's crazy about those.
That's what
like. I always say, so like the online Black Friday or Cyber Monday, it's always good for like if you're shopping on Amazon for like the Amazon devices. All of the like Google has the Google Home.
But you can get them everywhere now.
Yeah,
you don't even have to buy them online.
Yeah, you can get them everywhere.
Obviously, you may
I'm still waiting for the Mavic Air 2 Pro or Mavic whatever
the
Pro
Mini
to go on. No, not the Mini.
Oh no, you don't want the Mini. That's right. Sorry, hater.
Yeah, so maybe that will go on sale. I'm not buying any TVs or anything like that.
Didn't you buy one last year? Is that when you got your new TV?
Yeah,
that's been a year. All right.
Yeah, it's been a year. Last year I got the Samsung QLED 50 inch. I think it's 50 inch. Yeah, and like because we will be moving in April, I don't want to buy a new TV and then have like, even I'm trying to like figure out how to move this like across the country without damaging it. Should be interesting. So
should keep the box. Probably not.
I did not. Well, you don't think about that, yeah.
I bet you can get. I'm pretty sure like U-Haul or someone sells boxes for TVs.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to find something. I have a lot of computer things to move, cases, and so yeah, it'd be an interesting thing. I'm trying to think if there's. Oh, and I'm looking to get some hard drives, some normal hard drives, some WD Reds. They sometimes go on sale.
Some NAS drives.
Yeah, I need to. One of my NAS drives did die.
Oh,
it died because of a power outage, which is interesting because only one of the drives died. Like I said, I have a 4-bay NAS, and one of the drives died. So I've been needing to replace it for like 3 months, but
oh my gosh, dude.
So I need to do that, and that's like I can save some money doing that. But yeah, I would say go online. Like I said, with everything going on, it's not exactly the best idea to go to the stores. Yeah. I did. This is kind of related. Is that in here is some G Fuel. Ryan got me on the G Fuel, which we're not sponsored by G Fuel or anything.
No.
But I typically like my energy drink of choice is like a White Monster, but G Fuel is like we reviewed actually the like competitor to this, which is Sneak, and I wanted to try it just to have something different, and I got like a trial pack that has a bunch of packets in it. I have had 2, and they're actually pretty good. And I assume they seem to work. Like there's caffeine in them. Well, and
if I don't have one for a while, like for a while I was having them like really only on Wednesdays, but I went for a long time without them, and then I had one a couple weeks ago, and like I got done with the podcast and we gamed and the stream was over, and I like tried to go to bed and I was like wired. I don't know if it was related or not. We'll see. Yeah. I'm hoping this like keeps me up a little more tonight because I don't have to work tomorrow, obviously, and I don't have anything going on. We're not really doing anything tomorrow, so plan on staying up late.
Yeah. Well, we will be gaming. Twitch.tv twitch.tv/ThinkComputers. We will be over there playing some Apex, so that'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, like I said, if you want to check this out, they have like again, this is non-sponsored, but they have a Black Friday deal. I got like this trial pack for like $4 or $5. And the shipping was like $3, so it's not like something crazy. Maybe you want to give it a try.
Peach cobbler. Like I just pulled up their site. They have peach cobbler. I don't think I want that.
That sounds weird.
I don't want to drink a peach cobbler.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
But yeah, like check that out. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. You said you started Mandalorian season 2.
So yeah, I started. We binged through season 1 with the kids. They enjoyed that. And then I think we've gotten through 2 episodes of season 2. So enjoying it so far. It's pretty good.
I haven't watched episode 3 yet, so
okay.
I'm not there. I don't think there's
anything else just been playing some Shadowlands. Wow.
All right, so join us over at twitch.tv/ThinkComputers. Ryan will have the stream up, and we will be gaming over there. But thanks everybody who was in the live stream and the chat. We're good for next week, right? I'm always thinking that there's like, because it's like holiday time, I'm like, there's all these holidays, but it's actually just Thanksgiving and Christmas, but I just don't think about it
and I was thinking about it like, so Jim was in the chat earlier from Home Gadget Geeks. We'll be there December 17th. And if I'm correct, let me just pull up my calendar here. November, December. So the 17th is a Thursday. 24th is Christmas Eve. So I'm not even sure if they're going to have a show Christmas Eve. They may or may not. 31st is the next Thursday. So we may be the last guests of 2020 on Home Gadget Geeks.
That's exciting.
It's kind of cool.
So we'll have all of the info for that as well. We'll put it out on social media when we'll be on their podcast. So definitely stay tuned for that. But until next week, we'll catch you guys later.